Yo, sure. Another banger of video, and today, guys, I'm going to be explaining the OOO system. So we got the FPS system and the SI system and the CPS system and all that stuff, but I propose my very own system, the OOO system, which should be better than all of them. First, I'm an American, so I'll start off with weight. We always use that in America, and I'll use the ounce, which is 1/16th of a pound. So next is distance. I love leather, so I've decided to go with the ounce, which is 1/64th of an inch, or 0.41 millimeters. So now we need a unit of time. I'm not really fond of any of the units of time, so we'll derive one from this equation. F is equal to m times acceleration. M is mass, and acceleration is, of course, distance over time squared. So now I don't have a force or a mass unit, but luckily there's a unit that solves both these problems at once. The ounce! An ounce is a force unit that is something weighing 1 ounce when put on Earth. Unfortunately, this depends on the longitude due to centrifugal forces and the Earth not being a perfect sphere. So a better definition is 0.278013851 newtons. So that solves force, but how does that solve mass? Well, F is equal to G times M1 times N2 over R squared. So we can just use this. We have force here, and we'll put our R squared, which will of course be the ounce. Yeah, R can be 1 ounce, ounce can be 1 ounce. And M1 can be our new mass units. We'll just assume that they're both the same. So we can solve for M. This is probably incorrect. So our unit for mass is the square root ounce squared. And we just make G1 because the only reason it isn't 1 in SI and FPS is because the units just don't work out. So G has to be some very small number. And our unit of time, which works out to be the square root ounce per square root ounce squared ounce. So great, now for temperature. Temperature is just the speed of particles moving in a substance. So we just use the distance, the ounce, and time, the square root ounce per square root ounce squared ounce. So temp is really just the ounce per square root ounce per ounce, square root ounce squared ounce per ounce. Pretty simple. Energy. Energy is force times mass. So in the OOO system, it would be the ounce square root ounce squared. Pretty simple. We can also get the system version of the watt, which is the ounce square root ounce squared per square root ounce per square root ounce squared ounce. So now we have coulombs, which is we're trying to get current, but we can derive that through coulombs. So it's the amount of electronic charge passing through some surface in some amount of time. Our unit for electric charge can be derived from Coulomb's law. It is called the coulomb, and it is F is equal to the absolute value of Q squared over R squared. Which, if you remember, that's very similar to this, which we simplified into M squared because we're assuming both M's are the same. So we've already done that, so it's the same units for math, the square root ounce squared. So why not just use the square root for mass for all of the things related to coulombs? Well, this doesn't work. The gravity doesn't have these absolute value bars here. But that only really matters if you're using imaginary numbers. I don't know when you're going to have an imaginary amount of coulombs, but if you do, the OOO system will not help you. Sorry. Amps. How we can calculate amps? Amps is just Q over 2. So our electric current is the square root ounce squared per square root ounce per square root ounce squared ounce. Oh, by the way, this amps is the SI base unit. So if we get all 7 SI base units, which we already have all but candels and mole. So that's just candela. We can take our unit of time, the square root ounce per square root per ounce squared ounce, and make a unit of frequency, the 1 per square root ounce per square root ounce squared ounce. Candela is just the power, which is the SI unit of watts, and the other system is the ounce square root ounce squared ounce, weighted towards some frequency. Our unit of frequency, we already have our unit of frequency right here. So therefore we can measure candela in ounce square root ounce squared per square root ounce per square root ounce square root ounce times the absolute value of 1 minus 1 over square root ounce per square root ounce squared ounce. Simple, really. And now mole. So now these are the reasons to use the SI system. Less base units, there are only 3. G is 1, makes calculations much easier. And yeah, that brings you to the end of this YouTube video. So, make sure to like, subscribe, turn on notifications, save it to all your playlists, share it to all your friends, comment 5 trillion times, and do everything every YouTuber tells you to do at the end of all of their videos.